You will have a wonderful life if you are good looking. Your boss will not be pissed off even if you make mistakes. Someone will give you a free dessert when you go to a restaurant. You can get a load of freebies on the street. You can also get a free haircut. This beautiful girl enjoys all these benefits in her daily life. Japan has a serious economic depression. The government has a financial deficit, so they decide to levy a new tax, which is called beauty tax. The more beautiful girls have to pay more tax, because they already enjoy so many benefits in daily life. It's time for them to give back to the country. This girl has a gathering with her friends.
However, Aiko is asked to stand in front of a scanning device. The device is supposed to scan women and measure what percentage of tax they should pay, according to their beauty. Aiko poses for the machine and it scans her face. The results say that she is the second level of beauty, so she should pay 20% beauty tax. Her total comes out to 1,200 yen, which she reluctantly pays. The restaurant that used to provide her with free complimentary desserts is now making her pay extra just because she is beautiful. Later, while buying a bottle of water, Aiko again has to pay more than a normal person. Likewise, all the pretty girls of the nation, according to the level of their attractiveness, have to pay a certain amount of tax. The news reporters interview common people about their thoughts on the tax enactment, and people seem to be quite happy about it. One man claims that he has spent a lot of money on pretty girls, so it is only fair if they have to pay more taxes than him. Another not so pretty girl states that the beautiful ones were getting pampered, so it is only appropriate if they have to pay more. Before the law was enacted, many people thought of it as discrimination towards women, but after it was enforced, the people have changed sides. Now, most of the nation is in favor of the beauty tax. The next day, Aiko receives her paycheck and excitedly opens it, only to be disappointed. The money on the check is a lot less than her actual salary. She goes to the manager with the concern and finds out that the beauty tax also applies to her salary, which means she will get 20% less than what she used to. The manager calmly explains to her that it is not his fault but the government's. To make her feel better, he offers to treat her with meals wherever he can. Enraged by the discrimination, Aiko and other beautiful women of the city hold up signs and protest at the tax enforcement office. The man there asks them to go away because the decision has been made, and it is definite. Aiko retaliates that this is the worst form of discrimination, but the man claps back, claiming that they have had the pretty privilege. He asks Aiko to give it a thought and dismisses the matter. When Aiko thinks about it, she slowly begins to realize she has had pretty privilege all her life. She remembers when she was little, she broke a flower pot once. The adults used to get mad at the children for doing the same thing, but their reaction was different for her. In college, her friends didn't let her pay for meals anytime they went out, just because of her beauty. And even now, at work, her boss pardons all her mistakes, but he gets annoyed when others do the same. Back in the present, the officer states that beautiful girls like her have always had social and economical benefits which are unfair to others, hence, the beauty tax is a reasonable law that ensures fairness. To make Aiko feel better, he adds that her beauty has been recognized throughout the country by the standards set by the government. Looking at the situation from a different perspective, Aiko starts to feel better about the 20% tax. The narrative changes when the girls who pay higher taxes start to be seen as the better ones in society. Aiko even goes to a reality television show and expresses her happiness at being one of the few people who pay 20%
They pay beauty tax.
The girls
Even
say
at
that
Aiko's
they are
work,
being asked
her
out
popularity
often at
skyrockets
restaurants
and she
bars when
starts
guys
being
find
known
out that
as the girl who pays 20% beauty tax. Unlike her previous interaction with restaurant cashiers, now Aiko is delighted to pay more money for being beautiful. Her manager calls her when he has important business meetings, and his business partner signs the papers without hesitation after seeing Aiko's beautiful face. While purchasing things, she makes sure to emphasize that she pays a 20% tax to those around her who only pay 5%. When Aiko receives her paycheck, instead of getting mad, she is flattered and considers it the fate of a beautiful woman. She is thriving more than ever until Reiko Tajima arrives at her office. Reiko pays 25% beauty tax, making her more beautiful than Aiko by law. Her colleagues all follow Reiko around, claiming that she is prettier than any celebrity they have seen. Aiko is stung by jealousy to see all the men drool over Reiko because she is used to being the center of attention. She vows to be prettier than Reiko in some days. Then, she starts to exercise day and night in hopes of losing weight. She also goes to the spas daily and receives several expensive facial treatments. After a lot of hard work, she goes to a restaurant and scans herself to find out that she now has to pay 30% tax. Aiko jumps in happiness to have finally gotten prettier than Reiko. But when she looks at her bank balance, her happiness vanishes too. See only 2 yen left. Her day gets worse when she hears about Reiko's plastic surgery. At first, she believes Reiko might have gotten plastic surgery to be prettier but is shocked when she gets a look at her face. Tired of being charged more for everything, Reiko had surgery and turned ugly. She looks completely different than she used to. It turns out that her fiancé left her because she was too expensive to take care of. As Aiko thinks that her day couldn't get worse, she is summoned by her manager, who informs her that she has been fired. It turns out that the company had to pay more taxes for every beautiful employee, and to cut the unnecessary expenditure, they have decided to fire all the beautiful people. Soon, the narrative around the beauty tax changes again. Beauty products to make women seem uglier start selling out. The people who were proud to pay more because of their beauty start making themselves seem uglier to keep their jobs. Moreover, men start to avoid beautiful women because their cost of living is too
Since
high.
Aiko's mother was
One
also
day,
very
Aiko
beautiful,
is in the
the
bar,
inheritance
distressed about
amounts
her
to
life.
negative 1 million
A man
yen,
approaches
meaning
her
that
and
if Aiko
offers help
wants
to
to
get her
claim the
taxes low
inheritance, she
before
will
she
have to pay
can
the
continue
government
the
and receive
conversation.
nothing.
Aiko
At
gets a
night,
call from their
Aiko
family
goes to the bar
lawyer.
again and
It
meets
turns
the
out that her
same guy.
dead mother has
He
left her with
introduces
a
himself as Nanamura. Aiko and Nanamura get closer while talking. He suggests she make herself look ugly to avoid taxes and even hands her fake thick eyebrows. Aiko is a little skeptical because avoiding paying taxes might get her in jail, but Nanamura assures her many girls do the same. The next day, Aiko draws thick lashes and freckles over her face. She also hides her beautiful hair with a short wig and adds a huge mole to her nose. The tax officer is startled to see her come in. She claims that she has been stressed because of her mother's death and has gained some weight. The officer scans her and the machine declares her ugly. He finally takes Aiko off the pretty women list, which means she will no longer have to pay for the inheritance tax. Thinking that all her problems are solved, she rushes outside and calls Nanamura. He congratulates her and invites her to meet his parents in a nice dress. Aiko understands that the man is interested in her and smiles to herself. She is happy that even in a time like this, someone is in need of her beauty. On the day they are supposed to go out, Aiko excitedly does her makeup. However, her plans go in vain when 2 policemen knock on her door and arrest her for trying to be ugly to avoid paying taxes. They also inform her that Nanamura is a notorious marriage swindler who covets the inheritance of beautiful women. It turns out that he was never interested in her beauty and was only trying to get her inheritance. Aiko is then sentenced to 2 years in prison. She is depressed and alone as her life has taken a turn for the worse. Her only friend in the prison is her cellmate, who is also in for trying to be ugly and avoid taxes. As they talk, Aiko wishes that she was born ugly. If only her nose was 1 centimeter short, her life might have turned out different. But her cellmate advises her to never turn away from reality. She claims that they both are unhappy right now because of their dull hearts, not because of their beauty. According to her, they were too focused on having a pretty face that they forgot to keep their heart happy. Aiko is inspired by her friend's words. She vows to work on beautifying her heart when she gets out. Cut to 2 years later, Aiko is finally let out of prison. She is dedicated to working on her heart this time. She sees a kid crying for ice cream and kindly offers to buy one for her. However, the shopkeeper returns her extra money, saying that she isn't pretty enough for beauty tax. Moreover, some kids from behind her call her ugly. Hearing this, the beautification of heart leaves Aiko's mind. She gets offended, claiming that she is still very beautiful. But it turns out that in the last 2 years the standard of beauty has changed completely. since men favored ugly women because of the beauty tax. They became more popular and now are considered more beautiful than traditionally beautiful women. Amazed at the new world, Aiko hands the kid her ice cream, but she refuses to accept it because of Aiko's ugliness. Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on the notification, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thanks for watching.